I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, let's do it. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet, man. So before we get into your good work, I want to know this. 5 years ago, this pandemic changed so many things about our lives and the way we approach things. How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced the way that you do things today?
Yeah, so how I got through it was kind of like everybody else. You had to make a change. So when the gyms were shut down, like you can't tell because of my background, but I'm sitting in a gym now. So when the gyms were shut down, I pivoted like everyone else, but where a lot of people went wrong is they were doing free Zoom classes, whereas I kept charging for mine because you're really charging for my accountability. Like one thing I saw, so many people had these nice home gyms, but they were still coming to me, right?
Yeah.
So you're still getting me, it's just in a different form. So financially, I was able to stay. I mean, I wasn't thriving by any means, but I was enough to stay afloat. But in that time, I was like, you know what? I may as well learn new stuff. So I joined multiple mastermind groups, and shored up my marketing knowledge, my branding knowledge, how to get on media. I went full throttle with my podcast because I had a lot of things that I was sort of dabbling in. So I used that downtime to become proficient in all of those areas. And it just made me into a better speaker and a better presenter.
So ultimately, at the end of the day, if I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day and one of the kids wanted to know what you do for a living on a daily basis, how do you answer that child?
Yeah, it's great. I actually just did that three weeks ago.
Okay, I
Just
love
three
it.
weeks ago. Yeah. So I tell people that I'm a personal development coach, right? So even though I'm a fitness coach, it's like, yeah, I'll teach you how to do push ups and squats and all that other stuff. But what you're really getting out of me is a new belief system. Because like everything that I do, straight to the point. Hence the name of my podcast and the book. It's like shut up and grind. Like if you want to get it done, here's the blueprint. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. So it's more than just fitness. Like it's more than just speaking. Like when I'm speaking, I'm doing personal development through speaking. When I'm hosting my podcast, my guest is on to share their journeys and how they got through their struggles and why for the personal development of the audience. So even though I might wear different hats, I'm a personal development coach. So that's what I tell the students.
So when you were a kid, when you were 12 years old and you were sitting in that classroom, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream gig?
I wanted to grow like my brothers and I wanted to stop stuttering.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted. I had a very bad stutter growing up. And for whatever reason, I hit my growth spurt late. So my brothers were 6 foot tall, muscular, excelling in their sports. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I short, skinny, and I can't even say the word mommy without, So
Yeah.
constantly getting teased, constantly just feeling different and just wondering why me.
Yeah.
So sitting in that classroom, I wouldn't have even been thinking about the career. Like, I just want to be able to speak clearly.
Yeah.
So that was my initial thought.
So you've done very well in sports. You've won a lot of gold medals. You've had quite a history. Take me back to your beginnings. Where were you born and raised, and what were these foundational seeds of not only being an athlete, but being someone now that gets people motivated to change their lives, to get healthier? How did this happen?
Yeah, so I was born in Queens, New York, but we moved up here when I was 18 months. So I'm definitely not a city guy. I'm a country boy. Like we grew up in pretty much in the woods in rural Charlestown, Rhode Island, and I'm still there now. So the turning point. So I just mentioned I was short and skinny. So to put it in perspective, as a freshman in high school, I was 5'4", 88 pounds. Right.
Yeah.
5'4", 88 pounds. So my brothers, like I said, were 6 foot, muscular, dominating their sports. And I was envious, not like a negative envious. I was like, I want to shine too.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Uh-huh.
shine along with them. And so the turning point, I'm an outdoor track, right, as that skinny freshman. And I went to my coach because everything that my brothers accomplished, I wrote it down. Like they had no idea. Right? I wrote everything down that they accomplished. So like I'm checking like at some point I have to grow. I'm like, Dad's 6 foot, they're 6 foot. Like at some point it's gotta be my turn. So I go into the track coach and I ask for the record book. And now this guy's my coach, mentor, leader. He looks at me, he goes, "Why do you want the record book?" And I said, "Because I'm going to break the high jump record and all of my brother's records." And so he says, "You don't have what it takes to be a high jumper." He's like, "Why don't you go try hurdles?" And I was like, "No, like I'm dead set. I'm going to break the high jump record." But like in that moment, though, what if I listened to him?
Yeah.
Like, what if I listened to him and didn't pursue the high jump and I went and did the hurdles? Like, I had no desire to do hurdles. My older sister, well, they're all older. I'm the youngest of seven. But one of my sisters, like, she was doing very well in the high jump and it just looked fun, you know? But in that moment, like, that one sentence, he could have changed the complete trajectory of my career.
Yeah.
You know, with that one sentence. It's like people don't understand how powerful that is. But I chose to follow my own heart, my own drive, because I knew at some point the genetics has to catch up to my drive. It's like I wanted to be bad. Like I wanted my name in the papers like they were, or to be featured in a quick news blurb. Like I wanted all of that shine that they were getting. It's like at some point it's gonna catch up. So I just became a student of the event. Now this was back before the internet.
Yeah.
This was back before YouTube and all that stuff. So like I would ride my bike to the library. I would get books on the high jump, on the long jump. I'd watch videos. Remember the projector videos that you had to feed the tape through it? So
Uh-huh.
I get one of those, and I just became a student of the sport. And as a freshman, I mean, the coach was probably right. As a freshman, I wasn't any good. You know, I think I high jumped 5'4". I want to say I missed half of the sophomore season because I had a back injury from basketball, but I just missed making states. And I ended up placing in the JV states, but then I had like a 5 to 6 inch growth spurt between sophomore and junior year. So junior year, I tied the high jump record, and then senior year, I broke it.
Wow.
And I held that record for 21 years. I
Wow.
also held the Southern Division and did 16 schools in the Southern Division. I held the Southern Division triple jump record for 24 years, and I also broke the pentathlon record, and I was part of the record-setting 4x100 meter team. And whenever I share that, I always say I don't share that to flex. I always go back to that meeting with the coach. Like
Yep.
all of that almost didn't happen,
Yep.
because he tried to talk me out of following my own heart.
Yeah. You know, I was 4'11" as a sophomore. I know the feeling. I went to a doctor
Oh
because I was
wow,
so worried about being small. I was a runner. I was in cross country. So I totally get that. And by the time I got to my senior year, I had the growth spurt same time you did. And I finally
yes,
made varsity. I was in the same boat. I just wanted a little bit of ink. Everybody around me's like doing it and they aren't even, to me, it didn't even seem like they were trying. They were just kind of doing it as a stopgap to play another big sport. But for me, it was like that
yes,
was my bread and butter. That was my whole meal. I wanted to be a part of that, and it just made me try that much harder. Um,
love it.
so let me ask you this: who's that hero? Who's the one that inspired you to excel and to defy the odds, and not only to break that record, but to become who you are today, to evolve to this point?
My father,
Yeah.
my father. It's like my mom. My mom she was very supportive too, but she worked a lot back then. Like she would work like 16-hour days, you know. But dad never let us settle. So dad himself, he was a star athlete and he was brilliant too. He actually skipped 2 grades. I think he skipped from fifth grade to the seventh grade and then seventh grade to the ninth grade. So he was smart and he was very, very talented. And I believe he qualified. It was either the trials or the full games. I don't fully remember, but he qualified for the Olympics in 400-meter hurdles. So he had that own drive within him, but then Vietnam broke out and he got sent to war. So he was never able to go. And I think part of him wanted one of us because he figured he's got 7 shots, right, for one of us to make it to that level. And anything that we accomplished, it's like we celebrate, but then we raise the bar. So as I'm competing in track, it's like, hey, dad, I got a personal best today. He's like, did you place? Hey, dad, I placed. Did you get top three? Hey, dad, I got third place today. Why didn't you win? Right? Then you start winning when you're going to break the record. It's like, all right, so you're breaking records now. We got to prepare for college. So like, if there was never any good enough. It was always, all right, what's next? And it showed up in his work ethic too. It wasn't just words. Like, tell you a quick story. He was an engineer. Like, when I tell you anything that needed to be done in a building, he could do it. Electrical, plumbing, carpentry, all of it. Welding. So he comes home with this car. And when I tell you, this car is like smashed in, like the passenger side is like to the middle of the car. And I remember myself, one of my sisters, and my mom, we're in the big window watching him pull up the driveway. And we're like, what on earth is that? Right. 6 months later, I was driving it.
Wow.
Right. So just watching him just make the impossible a reality. So he instilled that in all of us. Just with me being the youngest and watching my older siblings get their shine, I think I'm the most driven out of all of us, but it was because of that. Just growing up, dealing with those impediments that I dealt with, and I just wanted to be my own person because I was always Ralph's little brother. Oh, that's Ramona's little brother. It's Monique's little brother. I'm like, my name is Rob. Call me Rob or Robert. It's like I wanted my own shine, and so that's where the internal drive came from. And then once I started hitting those levels, I was knocking on the door of the 92 Olympic trials. I was knocking on the door, and then I got injured. I think I overextended in one of my shots at the triple jump, and I ended up hurting my knee. And so the next year, I rehabbed. The next year, I made it. I made it to the nationals, and I was top 7. But then I hurt it again in the middle of the high jump.
Wow.
But then there was like 10 years, a solid decade went by where that just ate me alive. Because that was my mission. And now the mission's gone. And so feeling that, we'll call it depression, that loss, like people think loss is just death. No, there's other ways to lose. I let relationships go because I wanted this so bad. And then to not be able to have it. And then it wasn't until I was managing a restaurant and I was in the back fuming about it. I'm 30 years old now, fuming about it. And one of the waitresses just puts her hands on my shoulder. She's like, Rob, she's like, you got to let that go. She's like, why is that still? That was 10 years ago. She's like, what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
And I was like, what did I learn from it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll let you jump back in there.
No, you're good. No, you're good. So I'm curious if you could get one dream guest on your podcast, anybody on the planet right now, and you can interview them, spend some time with them. Who would that be?
Yeah, this answer is gonna blow your mind because I would pick someone who's struggling beyond belief. Like people always default to like the famous people
Yeah.
and all that, and not knocking the famous people, and a lot of them have great backstories, but to get someone who's currently struggling and help them get through it, give them a path to some level of clarity, because a lot of people get stuck in that box and they don't know how to release themselves.
Yeah.
So if you bring on someone that has all of this success, it actually could have a negative effect on that person if they're watching, because they don't have the belief system and they're going to think, I can't get there. So why am I going to watch this person and thinking that I can't get there? But to take someone who's currently struggling and let them see, like, listen, you have a lot of gifts. It's like, this is where you are right now. And this is my superpower, is I help people turn pain into power. So we'll take what you're going through, and this didn't break you. You're still here. You woke up today, right? So how are you getting through this every day? And then help them see that there is a way through this. Like, I actually just created an app. I created 2. One for veterans who are struggling with PTSD, right? It's a series of 21 questions where they go through and they talk about what they experienced, how they got through it. We extract all the feelings of what they went through. And then I have it attached to an AI that takes their answers and it turns it into a keynote speech.
Wow.
So when they read that back, they have a full redirection of their circumstance. And then I made one just for people who are just dealing with pain and struggle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's who I would want to talk to. Someone who really, really needs what I offer.
That's a great answer. So let me ask you this. What gets you up every day? When that alarm goes off, What gets you up to do this job at a high level? You got to get into people's worlds and help them turn it around. You have to take care of your own soul. What is that energy every day for you to do it at a high level?
So my alarm goes off at 4:30 every morning, right? And it's not the T-Mobile jingle. It's not, the old school phone ringing. It's a video of me. It's a video of me saying, get up. You got people depending on you. We got lives to change. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's what I wake up to
I love it.
every morning. Yep. So it's whether I'm here at the gym, even though I just resigned from coaching so I can focus on speaking. But like whether I'm here at the gym, whether I'm coaching my athletes, whether I'm doing my PT sessions, whether I'm speaking, whether I'm hosting, people depend on me. So I have to show up.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I can't come on this show and not be high energy. I can't be in here with a gym full of people and not be high energy. So it's like I have to show up. So there is no I don't feel like I don't want that doesn't exist. It's like I'm living in my purpose. Like when you're living in your purpose, you don't need external motivation. Like motivation is temporary. Like it can come and go. Discipline, desire, and devotion. You don't lose those three. So that's what gets me out of bed.
So let me ask you this. If you were to have a dream and to get back into that childhood home of yours when you were shorter than your brothers, you really wanted to you wanted to achieve, and you could walk up and sit down on your childhood bed with a picture book, a coffee table book of your life, and that young version of you is looking through it confused, like, what's going on here? And you're like, this is what happened. Would that version of you believe it?
Yeah, yes, that
Okay.
version of me would believe it because I've always been a dreamer. I've always been a visionary. It's like I'm not a it is what it is type of guy. I'm like, no, how can we get through this? And I know you asked me about the childhood version of me, but I think this is relevant. So in 2009, I had I finished off my knee. All right, so I had that knee injury when I was 18, and so now at 30, I think I was 34 when this happened because I got back into track. I was just scratching the surface with fitness at this point, so I didn't fully understand how the body worked. So I just knew. I set a goal for myself to compete in track again, at the masters level, the 30 and over. And so the way I was training, I didn't realize I was giving myself an imbalance. Right. So we get to the track meet. It's like I won both of my events, the high jump and the long jump. But in the high jump, I had my age bracket one, but there was still a 45-year-old jumping. And I'm competitive. So competitive me was like, he's got to go.
Yeah.
Right. So I jump, and I felt a tug in my left knee. Now, ever since I heard it the 14 years prior, it flares up, like it comes and goes. So I didn't think anything of it. And so the other guy goes, he jumps, he missed him. Like, all right, he's cooked. All right, let me just take one more jump, put this to bed, and then we're out of here. So I threw some tape on it, and I went and I planted to jump, and then I saw white. So I don't know how long I saw white, but I saw white. And when I came to, my kneecap was about 4 inches up my quad. Yeah, it fully detached. Now, thankfully, it wasn't painful. I don't know if I had some nerve damage or something. It's like I remember feeling the release, but it wasn't painful. So anyway, so we fast forward. We're in the hospital. We're in the ER. The ER doctor comes. He takes off the brace that the EMTs put on, and he looks right at me, dead in my eyes, and says, "You will never run or jump again." And I was floored. No, I have 5 kids of my own. At the time, they were 9, 6, 2, and I had twins who were 4 months old. So to get hit with that bomb, as active as I am, I'm thinking about running around the playground with the twins when they're older, or playing basketball with my oldest son, going for hikes and doing all this other stuff. I looked up at my now ex, and she's crying because she knows how active I am. I had just gotten into the fitness business, like I left the restaurant behind me, and then this guy hits me with that, and then it took me back to the coach.
Yep.
Right, it took me back to the coach. I'm like, wait a second, this guy doesn't know me.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you know how I'm gonna heal?
Yeah.
It's like you don't know that. It's like just because maybe other people didn't make a full recovery, that's a them problem. Like that's got nothing to do with me. And I was like, you guys focus on the surgery. I'll take care of how I heal.
Yeah.
Because I'm a full believer that the brain controls the body. Like if you tell yourself you can't do something, then you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I tackled every day with the expectation of running and jumping again.
Yeah.
Like I never even entertained the thought though, well, what if he's right? Never entertained it,
Yeah.
you know? So, all right. Yeah. So I'll pause there.
No, no, you're good. No. So I'm curious. That's kind of a good segue into my next question of everything that you've accomplished, evolved to overcome. What are you the proudest of?
What am I the proudest of? Again, this is going to sound weird for me to say, but watching my father die,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's going to sound weird, but because he died November 18th of 2019. So he just missed the craziness of COVID, because had he survived he would have literally died alone.
Yeah.
He would have died alone. So the fact that we were able to be there, he had 3 generations of us there with him. And because like we had to end care, he had stage 4 heart failure. And like my mom sang a song to him. We all got to come over. I always get choked up with this, but we came over and like we all got to say our goodbyes. Like he couldn't talk. He had tubes all in him,
Yeah.
but he could nod his head yes or shake his head no. So we all got to say goodbye, and just in that moment, watching his eyes close and watching like the color leave his face, but the moment was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like once you accept the fact that death is a part of life, like it's coming for all of us. You know what I mean? So the fact that like there are people that just die unexpectedly.
Yeah.
It's like we knew it was coming, so we had time to prepare for it. To mentally prepare for it and to be there with him in his final seconds. Like that's something that no financial thing, no business thing, nothing will top that moment. Nothing.
You know,
Outside of my kids, of course.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it. My father when he passed in '08 on Labor Day and the whole
Mm-hmm.
family saw him and I went up there. I got a call and I went up there and I was the first one to see him afterwards in the room. And there was a nurse and there was a male nurse and he said, "Are you the one that went to Italy a couple times?" And I was like, "Yeah." Because he was his parents were immigrants. He was born in Brooklyn, raised in Long Island. And he was like, man, he just kept talking about that trip you took and how happy he was about it. And I think about that moment, being in there and being the first one to see him. And it's wild, man. When you're in that moment, when you feel that life force leave, it's something that you can't put words on. It's definitely it's a
Yes.
transformative moment, man. Um, so
Yes.
so at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, everyone that gets your book, everyone that listens to your podcast, all of your clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm someone who's loyal, someone who's genuine, someone who's authentic. And at the heart of it, as I said, my heartbeat is my competitive drive. So life throws me lemons like it does everybody else. But it's like, what do you do when those lemons arise?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm someone that I call myself emotionally bulletproof. So like no matter what happened, like I've been through divorce, I've been fired after 21 years. I've done all the, even now, one of my kids isn't talking to me. Like it's life cannot knock me off my mission.
Yeah.
It's like my mission now is to help as many people as I can go from I can't to I can.
Yeah.
Like that's the mission. And then as things come along the way, I address them. Like I still reach out to my child. I'm like, hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Time will heal whatever you're mad at. But once you've again, I mentioned this word earlier, is purpose. It's like once you're in your purpose, because a lot of people work, a lot of people make money, but they don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
Like we've witnessed it in our life. Like Robin Williams, I had no idea Robin Williams would ever take his life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It looked like he had it all together. He's telling jokes, he's having fun, he's inspiring people, but inside he truly wasn't in his purpose.
Yeah.
And it ultimately consumed him.
Yeah.
So that's me at my core. It's like when I show up, you're getting me as I am. It's like I'm no longer a people pleaser. I'm no longer a chameleon. I show up as me. Some people love the energy. Some people need somebody who's a little more toned down,
Yeah.
and that's fine, right? The ones that need my energy will gravitate towards me, and I don't beat myself up over the ones that don't.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get your book, Shut Up and Grind, get into the podcast, hire you, see you speak, any of the good business that you have going on, where do they go?
So the book is on Amazon, and this is a step-by-step guide, because people ask me all the time, like, how are you always positive? How are you this? Like, how do you wear so many hats and not burn yourself out? So I wrote a how-to guide. So like there's 15 chapters in the book, and there's 13 worksheets built into the book. So it's very immersive. So someone who maybe doesn't want to go to therapy or see someone, like, this is something that they can do on their own in their own time, and it just helps you take what you went through, extract all the teachable nuggets, and it helps you turn it into something positive that you can either just heal from yourself, or you can use it to help others. And that's on Amazon. So my podcast has the same name, Shut Up and Grind. You can just throw it into a Google search. It's on all the platforms. And for me personally, at Robert B. Foster on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram is Robert_B_Foster.
Okay, I love it. Robert, what a joy, man. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your courage. I appreciate it. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, sir.